guys, the housing bubble. Yeah, we're hearing it all the time. And, I'm going to continue to say that I'm not really seeing it as a bubble, and I'm going to give you some data to show you why and where we stand. I got even more good news, though. The trends that we're seeing are really good for homeowners and home buyers. We're moving in a better direction than we have been over the course of the last year. So looking back at my notes, I got to tell you why I don't think it's a bubble, just what the stats are saying. According to recent statistics, we are still down by about 5.5 million homes. So that's been part of a long-term trend that got us where there wasn't enough new construction, there wasn't enough money available, too much money was going into other things, and then of course the pandemic was the tipping point that made that worse. But at most, builders are able to build 1 million homes a year. So long-term prognosis, the shortage of homes is going to continue, and that's key as to housing values. Of course, inflation, we're seeing prices on everything going up. Inflation in general means housing values go up. So again, really not looking for a crash in housing values. But what we are seeing is that the crazy increases are tapering off, and that's great news. So sales month over month now for the last 4 months have gone down about 0.5% to almost 1%, the total volume in our area here in North Atlanta. So that's a good thing. So what we're seeing is kind of a gentle, slow tapering off of rising prices. So again, not looking at a crash in prices, but what we're looking for is a more normalized housing economy where instead of the 13% increase in sales prices that we saw year over year from March to March, or since March now, that the increases in prices are slowing down, and we'll probably see, it's area dependent, got to know every neighborhood, got to talk to someone competent that can give you that information for where you're looking at, but we're probably looking 5 to 7% increases going forward for the short term from here. So over the next year, your house is going to still go up in value. Not looking for prices to come down, just the rate of increase is slowing down. That's good news. So that's what's going to help us avoid a crash, right? So housing prices just shot up to a certain percent where they needed to be as demand increased. Demand, though, is going to remain high as the supply remains low. Supply is still down by 20 to 21% each year over year. So again, supply is the issue here. The chief, Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's, is agreeing with what I'm saying, and in that it really looks like we've hit a tipping point in that the crazy hyper growth in home values is tapering off. We've kind of come off the edge of the cliff, and we're entering into nice, more stable, secure growth from here on out. Growth meaning growth in your home value and your home equity. So it's still a sound investment, and you should be looking at a moderate growth ahead of inflation, your home value going up ahead of inflation over the course of the next year or two. Good stuff for homeowners and home buyers that they're going to have some home equity. What we're seeing again this year, though, is with the craze where we saw weird things happening last fall, usually slow time in real estate, it was really busy because people were stir crazy and looking for bigger houses and a lot of other pandemic related factors. But we're looking this year of a more normalized market where people are going to start traveling again and not be so interested in buying homes. So it should slow down a little bit in the late summer. And again, the holiday periods, it'll be a little slower. Again, all great things to help normalize our real estate market and keep your home equity secure. So on the other side, we've got people saying, hey, what about renting and waiting for this craziness to be over? Well, rents in North Metro Atlanta have gone up 13% from last March to this March, same as home values. So there's no salvation there, unfortunately. Rents continue to go up. So this year alone, from January till June, we've seen 7.5% increase in rental prices. Not good news for renters. With the rental rental eviction hiatus or whatever created by the CDC, that's gone away. They've said that they've extended it to July 31st, but that's the absolute furthest that they plan to extend it. So that is going to put some more units available. Hopefully that'll help renters, give a little bit of relief. But really what it looks like is that going for a year without being able to evict people who aren't paying has caused corporations and even small investors to lose a lot of money, and they're going to need to make it back in order to keep their heads above water. So not likely that we're going to see too much relief for renters in the near future, and nor will renting really be a better option than buying in the foreseeable future. At least not here in North Metro Atlanta, where we still have the population increasing. We still have more people moving in than moving out at a rate of about 7,000 people a month, more moving in. Mostly people from the East Coast, New York City Metro and that area, a few from California, but really not that many from the West Coast. We're fortunate to have a couple of buyers that are coming in from California. Glad to have them here. But for the most part, we're seeing people migrating to Atlanta that are coming from East Coast locations. The Fed also is cooling off the market a little bit by letting us know that instead of a 2023, maybe it'll be late 2022, that they're going to start changing their policies to help moving the interest rates up. So them forecasting that, even though it's way in advance, it does affect something like a 30-year mortgage. So lenders have had to start popping up rates just a little bit. You know, we're above 3% now, but we're still looking at 3.5% mortgages, which is still an excellent rate. So affordability is good in way of financing, but price, of course, is a factor. Really still tough time for first-time home buyers or even people trying to downsize because there's a real shortage of low-cost homes. To help alleviate that, the feds, through the FHA lending program, have changed the way they factor in student loans. So a lot of younger people who have large student loans are going to really benefit from that. So if you're a first-time home buyer, if you've had some student loan debt that kept you from being able to buy, you might want to talk to us. We'll get you in touch with a top mortgage person. It could show you how that's going to affect how much you'll be able to borrow, how much of a house you'll be able to buy. You could really end up in a stronger position than you thought you were due to that new policy for FHA loans. And that's the big things we have for today. The other good news is lumber prices are down, but we're going to have more for that. On that in our lumber video, so you're going to want to check that out and see how that impacts your home renovations and other things like new construction that you might be interested in. Got any questions, comments, please put them down below. We'll be happy to address them for you, get right back to you, and then do a video. If there's a question that we can address that's going to help you, we'd love to help you out. And of course, any questions, you could always call or text me. Our number is 678-761-5803, and go to brucebow.com to search for homes in and about the North Metro area. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you soon.